Hello, everyone. I'm sure by now you must have heard about standalone components and Angular, which was introduced in version 14 and finally released for long term support in version 15. If you still have some doubts or confusion about what standalone components are or what standalone API is in general, this video is right for you. And this video would be broken down into three main parts. Part one of this video would be what are standalone components and what advantages do they bring to the table. Part two of this video would be how you can migrate an already existing Angular application, which might be already a complex application for most people. How can we migrate from that to using standalone APIs, right? So we'll figure all of that together. I already have an Angular project ready to show you. This project does not use standalone API at the moment, but I will migrate it with you all in this YouTube video so that we all can learn together. And part three would be how can we now create a standalone component from scratch and use in our existing Angular application. Now, for those who are new to this channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Pranav, and I've been working in Canada as full stack developer and software engineer for the last 5 years. I got the privilege to work for both small companies to very big companies like Fortune 500. And me and my partner in crime, Kritika here, create videos for you so that we, first of all, can learn a lot and teach you in a way, help us learn more and spread the knowledge to everyone. So enough chit chat already. Let's understand what are standalone components. So with the help of this latest standalone components feature of Angular, we can now create components without even declaring them in any module. So yes, we are removing a lot of boilerplate code and we are moving towards a more module-less Angular development. A few benefits are frictionless start of your project, frictionless start of components, especially when you want to share them among different places. Lots of boilerplate code will be removed, and also it will help in lazy loading, which we'll see later in the video. And the great part about this is there are no breaking changes and it's totally backward compatible. So if you're too nervous to change your huge Angular application, what you can do is start by creating new components which are standalone, first of all, and then maybe one at a time you can start moving your components towards the standalone features. Therefore, you won't be into a pressure of changing everything at the same time, and you can still work with new and old way of creating components. Let me now go into the code and show you how you can migrate. First of all, we are going to run this command. Now we have two options. Either we can go one component at a time, which will take a lot of time and a lot of efforts and a lot of maybe errors that we might introduce into the code because we are doing it manually and we might miss an import here or there. Therefore, with Angular version 15, they introduced this schematic, which is ng generate Angular core standalone. And as soon as we run it, it asks us three questions. Do we want to convert all components, directives, and pipes to standalone? Do we want to remove unnecessary ng module classes? Or do we want to bootstrap the application using standalone APIs? So we'll go one step at a time and we'll just try to convert all the components and directives. So what's the path? I'm going to choose the root path. So all components and directives, I want them to be standalone in my project. And you can do the same. So this can take a few seconds, but at the end of it, you will be able to see all the changes that our Angular application made. As you can see, it updated 24 files already for me. Let me show you what changes were made, and then we can review them together. Let's take an example of password reset component that I have in this project. First of all, you can see that it added standalone true tag so that we can identify this as a standalone component. And secondly, Angular also added all the modules and all the imports this component needs because this component is standalone now. It is not depending on any other parent module, which will import or inject all the dependencies. So every component will now have to take care of their own modules or their own imports. This makes Angular applications really fast because now you no longer need to import everything inside your module. You just need to import exactly what this component needs, therefore making lazy loading and processing of your application much faster and easier. Now, before going to the second option of the migrating command, I first need to commit all my changes because that command only works if your repository is clean. So let me just make a dummy commit for you. Work in progress. There you go. Now I'm going to run the same command again, and let's choose the second option, and then we'll do the third one. Most probably, when you choose the second option, nothing should happen because Angular should have already taken care of most of the things. So it shouldn't really have any unnecessary ng module left now. And there you go. It says the same for me that no change required. Perfect. Let me try that again and choose the third option. Now, third option is a bit interesting because what it's doing now is, remember we had an app module, right? And that app module imports everything and then bootstraps our application. It's going to even change that, right? So it's going to be a complete turnover of how we create Angular applications. And the great thing is they are doing this for us with the help of the schematic. So we don't even have to take care of all those things ourselves. There you go. First of all, it deleted app module. There was a time without app module, we could not even imagine how Angular could work. But there you go. It deleted app module. And let's have a look what other changes were made. Same story for my app component, standalone true, and then all the imports that it needs for because I have been using Angular material, I have been using router module, and a lot of other things in this component. So all of those are now imported properly here, which is awesome. I really like it. And something interesting to notice on a side note, this might not apply to you, but if you really have some dependencies that your overall application really needs, then Angular is taking care of it by importing all of that into main.typescript file, which is pretty awesome. Let me commit this as well. And finally, let's get our hands dirty and code a little bit because everything Angular is doing for us, and I'm not really, getting my hands dirty with this new feature. So that's what I want to do. I want to now create a standalone component and integrate it with my application right in front of you. And hopefully this will make things very clear and you can do the same for your own projects or your personal projects, as well as if you're working for a company, you can do this for them. I'm going to create a new component. And if you want it to be a standalone one, you have to pass this tag stand dash dash standalone. Rest are optional. I'm going to create a very small component. So that's why I have added inline style and inline template. This has nothing to do with standalone feature, however. Let's run that. Application is still running. Beautiful. Now, what I want to actually do in this component is, you see, I have a sign up form and a login form on my application here. And by the way, if you're wondering what this application is, we have created this application live on YouTube actually with all of you. And you can check out our series. You will learn all the basics of Angular and all the basics and advanced topics of Firebase. Because we have hosted this application with Firebase. We have Firebase functions, Firebase authentication, hosting, so much more. So I won't get into it right now, but you can just check out our videos if you're interested in learning. So I'm going to try to log in with you with Google. Let's check it out. There you go. I've successfully logged in my application, and you can see because I have a logout button present here. If I log out, there you go. We are back to the sign up or the login page, and we have successfully been logged out. So this is a current feature of my application. Now, as you can see, the logout button is no longer there on the top. What I actually want to do is the logout button that appears when we have logged in, I want that to be a module. I want that to be a standalone component now. So this button right here, let's convert this into a standalone module. And I'm sure you can find some examples like this in your own applications to do the same. So first of all, let's see the newly created sign out button component. Beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import this, or basically include this in my HTML file. Let's see if it works. Do you think it will work? I have best guess. It won't. If you guess it will work, you're wrong, because now it's a standalone component. Our app module doesn't have any clue about this, right? So we need to first of all import this component. And remember, I said import component, not module. I'm on. Right. So let's copy this sign up button component. Let's go to our app component. And in the imports array, let's add this and import app. There you go. Perfect. Let's try it out again. Our application works beautifully. Now let's try to log in. And there you go. Our sign out button actually works, the component we just created. Now let's make it work in a bit better way so that it's actually useful. First of all, I'm going to copy this. So I want this button to be inside the component now. So let's do that first. This is my sign up button in the HTML, or the template part of it. Let's copy the button. Perfect. Now, this is not going to work out of the box because there are some methods and some variables that this function or this component needs. So let me bring all of that as well. Now that we have our TypeScript figured out, let's check if it actually works, or if it doesn't, what is missing? What's your guess? So I'm going to try to log in now. Okay, we did log in, but as you can see, the button really looks ugly now. Now, what might have happened? Try to guess. What actually happened is that I was using Mac button module, which I haven't imported, right? It might be present in the app component. So let's check. Yes, I have my Mac button module, right? I also need this module now imported in the sign out button component. Sorry. Why? I hope you remember that because as I just said, we really need to import each and every dependency, each and every module that your component, your standalone component is now going to need. So let's add this and check if it will work now. There you go. Problem solved. It's working as expected. Let's check if logout actually works. And I'm going to quickly do the exercise again just to make sure everything is working smoothly, just as we expect. Perfect. There you go. As simple as that. This is how easy we can convert our application into a standalone API compatible application. And it's as easy as that to create new standalone components or to change your own application and include those in it. So I hope you learned something in this video. So let me know in the comments down below if you're also planning to change your own personal project or company application into a standalone API compatible one. And let me know if you run into any troubles. I would be happy to hear from you. Thank you very much for sticking till the end. I really hope, as always, that you learned something and see you in the next one.